Hi ladies, Deb with Free from Food Addiction here, and I've been getting so many women telling me that they are constantly thinking about food. They hate being an obsession. They feel like they're anxious and they're up in their heads and they're stressed out about what they're going to eat and they feel overwhelmed, and it totally impacts how they're showing up in their relationships and at work, and it's hard for them to focus and it just feels really, really uncomfortable. And so I am so committed today to really help you with how to not think about food all the time. Wouldn't that be nice to not think about food all the time? Because I know, oh my gosh, I remember like constantly thinking about food. I could be in the middle of talking to somebody and then my mind would switch to food and I'd be like, what should I eat? What did I eat? What should I go do now that I ate that? I shouldn't have eaten that. Gosh, are they going to see me eat this? Well, I've got to eat this in front of them, then I got to eat that behind their back. And like I was like in a completely different world. And then I would come to and not know really what we were talking about in the conversation and kind of have like one of those like fake face things going on. Like, yeah, trying to madly catch up with what they were saying because I wasn't there for half of it. And, just that constant feeling like waiting for the other shoe to drop, like constantly like I'm missing something and trying to figure that out. It was so stressful. It was like having a second job, constantly thinking about food and then trying to do my regular job. I couldn't ever stay focused. And it really impacted my ability to feel connected, my ability to be present, my ability to really just like feel like I was being fulfilled, I just was like constantly feeling like frenetic instead of fulfilled. And so if you relate to any of that, I really want to give you some tools that you can use right away. And also just just in simply sharing about this, really just to let you know, almost like to normalize it within our particular community, because I didn't have a community like this to talk about this stuff with, a place where I really felt safe and seen and heard, a place with like-minded women who I feel like really got me and weren't going to judge me. And so that's why I created what I would have wanted when I was going through all this stuff. And now that I've, gone through kind of all the twists and turns and like stumbles and falls over the last decade, I'm just really excited to share with you what works and what doesn't work so that it can save you more time and ultimately get you back into feeling like you're living all of your life fully faster. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So one of the big things that I really find with women is that we're up in our heads, we're totally disconnected. We're obsessing about our bodies, but we're never really rarely in them. We're usually like up in our head, trying to figure things out, trying to plan, right? Trying to prepare, trying to project into what we need. There's just a lot of like head stuff that's going on. And I get it because, a lot of us are really cognitively pretty capable. I tend to attract a lot of smart women in my communities. And so, you've probably gotten by so far using a lot of your mind, and it's probably gotten you pretty far. And the problem is that now it's blocking you. So what do you do with that? Like the very thing that got you this far is now the thing that's blocking you right now. And what I find is that we kind of we have this whole cycle of preoccupation. So, preoccupation. Oh, you can't even see that. Let me move that over. There we go. Yeah. We're obsessed, right? We're obsessed and we're up in our heads and we're anxious and we're overwhelmed and we're stressed. And all of that preoccupation just like positions us to feel like we can't really trust ourselves, because we're not really focused on being inside of ourselves, being present, and we're like very, very focused on like, what do I need to do out here, and how do I need to get by, and what do I need to eat, and it kind of like we're just in this very like needing something on the outside to make us feel okay on the inside, and so we're preoccupied. And what I see happen is that we start to focus and fixate on all of these other kinds of things that aren't really like primary to what we need to be doing right now. So we start getting into planning and preparing and what am I going to eat tonight, and what am I going to eat tomorrow, and what should I do about that situation, and what should I have done about that situation, and this Friday I've got this event happening, or this party, or this engagement, and what am I going to eat, and what am I going to wear, and what are people going to say, and what are they going to think of me, and we just project all day long. And what that does is it sets us up for, so we get into planning mode and projecting mode, right? And then this is a great place for us to just kind of hang out, for us to just like, pitch some campground right here, because this takes us straight into procrastination. Procrastination is a really, really familiar place that a lot of us check out and hang out for a long time. So we can stay in the illusion that we are getting something done, we're being productive, because we're staying in preoccupation mode, right? We're staying in the obsession, we're staying in the constant thoughts, and we're trying to plan, and we're trying to prepare, and we're trying to project. But really, we're just procrastinating a whole lot because there's probably something deeper that we need to look at, something deeper that we need to deal with, and we don't want to do it. And so we stay here. And even though it's really uncomfortable, it becomes kind of our way to not deal with the deeper discomfort that's underlying all of that. Does that make sense? And so we stay in preoccupation land, we stay in obsession land, we stay in controlling, fixing, trying to figure out, what should I eat, as if that's the most productive thing to be thinking. But really all it's doing is it's helping us to not have to deal or feel or get real. Yeah? And so how do we break this? We have to go from preoccupation to presence. We have to go to presence. And what do I mean by presence, right? We say we want to be present, but what does presence actually mean? Presence means having all of you right here, right now. It means that you don't have thoughts caught in like future tripping about what might happen, or being anxious about what might happen, or being in regret about what did happen, or replaying scenarios that did happen. It means that all of you, all of your awareness, all of your attention is right here, right now. And in order to do that, it requires you to be able to feel and get real and deal with what is happening in your body and what is happening in the current moment. And oftentimes this is really hard for us because what's happening in the current moment, or the way that we feel in this current moment, is really, really uncomfortable. We feel alone, we feel afraid, we feel ashamed, we feel full of doubt, we feel disconnected. Well, that's not stuff that feels really good, and so the idea of being present doesn't really feel good. Or maybe it doesn't feel safe to be present. And so we tend to default over to this camp over here, but this doesn't feel comfortable either. And so what I am super passionate about helping women with is how do we cultivate more presence so that we can feel more connected, be comfortable in our own bodies, be authentic, not feel like we're pretending, not feel like we're anxious, be able to actually be calm, and stop holding back, stop in the procrastination piece, and really start living the lives that we're here to live, helping the people that we're here to help, feeling lighter, feeling free. This is the stuff that I am so, so passionate to help women with, because it's totally possible. If it happened for me, it can happen for anyone, because I was so disconnected. I was like pretty much living in like this part of my frontal cortex. That's pretty much where I was living all the time. And so if I can actually get present, then I know anybody can do it. And so I want to give you a tool that you can use right away to really be able to shift from the obsession and the constant thinking into instant presence. And it's to go from your head into your body. It's to actually go from thinking to sensing. And this is huge. This is great, big, huge. In fact, I've got an entire section at the upcoming Freedom Embodied LIVE conference that's happening at the end of May. I'm going to be doing a whole section on the presence practices that are designed to help women eliminate anxiety right away and really ultimately come back into a place where they're feeling connected in their own bodies and also being able to trust themselves. Because being able to trust yourself, that doesn't come from up here. That comes from your gut. That comes from deeply being connected there. And in order to deeply be connected there, you have to be able to get present. And so what I love to support women with is, how do we get you free from all the stuff and all the layers that are blocking you from being able to just be right here, right now, and not have all of the disturbance and all of the chaos and all of the distraction that takes you out of the present because you're afraid that you're not going to get what you need, or you think you're going to lose what you have. You've got so much fear going on. You've got so much anxiety going on that it just propels you into the future or keeps you stuck in the past. I want you to get free of that stuff. So the tool that you can use right now is to really shift from getting out of your head and stopping the thinking by getting into your body and sensing, using your 5 senses to sense what you feel in the moment. Again, I would love to dive in and really, really take you through the exercises that can help you with this. So if that is something that you want to do, you can just click the link below. You can just check out more about the event that's coming up. And ultimately, whatever you take away from this interaction and from this teaching is that it's totally possible for you to be free. You don't have to deal with this alone. You don't have to live in the anxiety and the overwhelm and the obsession and the constant food thoughts. And guess what? You don't have to fix and manage your food. You are not going to fix yourself free. It's not going to work. It never worked. It's still not going to work. There is a different way. There is an absolute different way where it's not about you figuring it out up here. It's about you actually coming to a place of inner congruence and inner trust where the food problem and the obsession fall away. That is what happened for me. That is what I teach women. That is what I watch happen for other women too. And it can happen for you. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm really, really being truthful because this is what I see. And it's powerful. And you certainly don't have to do it alone. So thank you so much for taking this time out, for spending it with me. I hope it was valuable for you. Again, if you want to dive deeper, if you want to know more about the Freedom Embodied Live conference that's coming up, check out the link below. And just remember, when you catch yourself thinking, go, oh, I just got to get into my body and I got to get into my 5 senses. What am I sensing right now? What can I hear? What can I feel? What can I smell? And it'll bring you into the present moment. And that's a really, really fun place to be. So thank you so much. I love you. I will connect with you next time. Bye for now.